President Obama reportedly planning to spy on doctors. That story tops tonight's two-minute drill. Tonight's most valuable panel, Democratic strategist Chris Hahn, Team Investments founder Tanya Marchiol, and Fox News contributor Dr. Mark Siegel. All right, fire up the clock. Here we go. Alarmed by a shortage of primary care doctors, the Obama administration officials are reportedly recruiting a team of mystery shoppers to pose as patients, call doctor offices, and request appointments just to see how difficult it is for people to get care when they need it. All right, panel, and Doc, I'm coming to you first. Is there anything wrong with the government spying on our doctors?
Well, first of all, I'm a practicing doctor, and I see many patients every single day as an internist. And I got to tell you, there's a primary care doctor shortage that traces back to 1997 Balance the Budget Act, when they froze the amount of specialists and residents that are coming out that are Medicare sponsored. That's already the problem. And Tracy, the problem now is we know there's a shortage. We know that there's a long waiting in all doctors' offices. We know that doctors are now running away from Medicare. The AMA did a survey over the summer that 17% of doctors are shrinking the amount of Medicare patients they see. So there's no new information coming out of this, except it's going to make doctors more nervous. Every time I receive a call that can be traced back to the federal government, I wonder what they want. 17% of them are going to follow up and say, this is HHS calling to check and see who you're booking in your office. It's going to make doctors nervous. We already aren't making enough money. We're not getting enough reimbursements.
Should they be spying on doctors?
Well, I don't know if it's spying. I think it's kind of akin to taking a poll and trying to find out what the real problem is.
They're not being honest and upfront about it.
Well, I think everybody who read the New York Times today, or everyone who stays in a hotel and reads USA Today tomorrow morning, is going to see this story. Doctors know the government's making these calls. I don't think it's out of the ordinary. I hear what the doctors saying, that the doctors are going to be nervous about this. But you know what? At the end of the day, the government needs to know the facts so they could deal with the problem and address it correctly. And I think there's nothing wrong with that.
Tanya, you're shaking your head.
I am shaking my head. My sister's a doctor, and I think it's ridiculous. First of all, Medicare and Medicaid don't pay enough, number one. So they're going to have less care because they're going to have to see more patients. I think it's ridiculous that they're spying. I think it's a horrible use of tax dollars.
As a jurist doctor,
people read USA Today in other places but hotels, Chris Hahn. All right, moving on. As Congress bickers over what to do about Fannie and Freddie, we're hearing that homeowners across the country are getting killed by property taxes. That would be me, I wrote in. Home values are declining, but the locals are still raising property taxes to support their bloated budgets. All right, so what should be done? Tanya, I'm going to go to you. I know this is your bread and butter. Property taxes are going up. Home values are continuing to go down. What happens?
It's a dilemma. First and foremost, if property taxes go up and it's used for schools, the community, and it makes values go up in your community, it's okay. But do we really trust our officials to make that happen? We cannot keep raising property taxes, and the housing market is already a huge debacle. That's a problem.
I wish the schools were actually getting better. And the problem is the property taxes are going to go so high that nobody is going to buy a home, especially people that are losing their jobs, people that are frozen in jobs that are not paying enough. It's going to hurt the real estate market, which is already in bad shape.
Right, that's the thing. It becomes a double-edged sword. The property taxes increase revenue, but nobody wants to buy.
It's the absolute worst. Listen, I was the chief deputy county executive of Nassau County. We take a huge portion of our revenue from property taxes. The property tax is the worst possible tax. It's a regressive tax. And quite frankly, in some communities around the country, what you're seeing is home values are declining. Assessments that are being challenged by homeowners, and it's leading to a double burden for localities where they're having to pay back refunds because the assessments have been challenged, and there's usually about a 16-month lag between the settlement and the case being brought. So that said, this property tax issue is a real concern for localities, and there needs to be a better way to deal with funding localities.
But Tanya, quick question, because you're in it. Is there a way to stop this?
Well, I agree with you in the I agree with you in the sense that no, there's not.
No, that's the answer.
Horrible.
There you go.
Happy day.
It's the worst possible thing.
Moving on. TSA is standing by its agents after they patted down a 95-year-old cancer patient. Now, according to the woman's daughter, the woman was forced to remove her adult diaper because it was wet. TSA tonight denying that agents removed her diaper at the Northwest Florida Regional Airport. But and I don't know where to go here with this, Chris, but I'm going to start with you. Hang on. Shouldn't they I mean, the argument, I guess, is she a likely terrorist profile?
No. Listen, here's the thing. Those who sacrifice liberty for security, Franklin said, deserve neither. And Bill Maher said the other night, I want to fly on fly your own risk airlines for a change, because I'm getting tired of these airport screeners, and quite frankly, they don't really protect us from anything. If somebody wants to get through there, they're going to go around it some way or another. And we're just seeing this false sense of security by the TSA being there.
But Doc, here's the thing. You start to say, oh, we're not going to touch Grandma with her 95-year-old diaper, and we're not going to touch all these people. Then the next thing you know, terrorists are going to be stashing things in Grandma's diaper.
fair enough, but I actually agree with Chris on this one, that the idea, well, actually, he didn't quite say this. I'm in favor of profiling. I think you got to decide beforehand who's the highest risk. Grandma is not the highest risk, and this is all about fear, by the way. It's fear, and I wrote a book on this. We're spending way too much time worrying about grandma and not worrying about across the board better techniques for actually catching people. How come El Al doesn't have this problem? They don't have this problem because they're not busy patting down grandma.
But, Tanya, who do you trust these days? How do you know Grandma doesn't have a knife in her diaper?
Here's my thing. If that was me and my mother, I would be on the no-fly list forever.
Right.
They would never have, it would have been awful, right? You can't, they don't ask me to take off my underwear. That is ridiculous. You cannot do that, and especially not to a grandmother. That's outrageous. There's other ways.
It was a complete show, and the whole
Show
security,
of what,
the
though?
whole security,
Nonsense.
the whole TSA system is a show. We need scanners in the airports, and we don't need guys standing there with wands patting people down. Enough is enough. We have the technology. We can do it.
There's dead people on the no-fly list. Muhammad Atta is still on the no-fly list to this day.
I don't know. Leave Grandma alone. I guess that's the final answer. All right, the panel will be back for Buy, Sell, or Hold. Time for Buy, Sell, or Hold. We take the names and stories in the news and treat them as if they're stocks. Would you buy them, sell them, or hold them? Tonight's panel, Democratic strategist Chris Hahn, Team Investment CEO Tanya Marchiol, and Fox News contributor Dr. Mark Siegel, all back. Author, of course, of The Inner Pulse. All right, number one, here we go. Marriage is over thanks to another man. That man could be Jerry Seinfeld. Now, Seinfeld's show, The Marriage Ref, places troubled couples before a panel of celebrities to have their dispute judged. But the comedian is being named by Howie Kohlenberg for splitting him and his wife up after 14 years. Howie claims that after the show, his wife became star-hungry and left him and her 4-year-old son to pursue her new dream. Is Seinfeld to blame for this split? Chris, buy, sell, or hold?
This story is not sponge-worthy. I am selling.
Tanya?
Sell. That's a joke. Know your companion.
Doc?
When he said sponge-worthy, I thought of the Seinfeld episode where they left a mint inside the patient. You know?
I'm selling it too, because clearly she's using Jerry Seinfeld as an excuse to leave her husband. Scoreboard says, see, we're all selling. All right, well, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, but some are also worth a lot more money, such as the only authenticated photo of the Wild West gunslinger, Billy the Kid, taken in 1880. An energy company executive bought the one-of-a-kind picture for an incredible $2.3 million. It was expected to sell for $400,000. The Billy the Kid photo, and my guess is that guy dressed up as Billy the Kid every day as a child. Chris?
I got to tell you, I have a copy of that photo right now. I could print it off the internet for you. Are you out of your mind?
Doc, would you buy Billy the Kid?
That's a literal for you. This is, look, this is free enterprise here. I mean,
Amen, amen. Tanya.
I'm a progressive.
I'm with Doc. I'm not telling anyone how to spend their money because they're not telling me.
That's it. You want to pay for Billy, pay for Billy. Scoreboard says.
All right. Hey.
That's because the monkeys don't even know who he is, Billy the
They
Kid.
know who he is.
Okay, this one is my favorite. Now, do you enjoy taking videos of your kids' sporting events or parties, whatever, and then posting them online? Well, it could be a problem in a New Jersey town. The Summit School Board is considering a policy asking people who attend school functions and athletic events not to share them on Facebook or YouTube because of privacy issues involving other children in the videos and pictures. Summit, New Jersey, do you buy, sell, or hold it? Doc, I'm coming to you first.
did we learn anything from Anthony Weiner? This is a buy. I
Amen.
don't want these photos on the internet.
Amen. Tanya.
I have to go sell. You can make your Facebook page private, and you can make your YouTube page private. And as a proud parent, don't you want to see, I mean, I want to see everybody's kids, but you can make them private.
Chris?
I was a sell, but I changed to hold. I think you convinced me. Who knows who's looking at these pictures? We got to have control of what our kids are out there doing. So.
Yeah, you know what? I put them on because I want to put them on, not because you want to put them on. I'm selling it. Scoreboard says. Scoreboard's buying it. Man, oh, man. I'm selling it. Let's make that clear.
1,000.
All right. Republicans should stand firm against tax hikes. Panel? Remember? Come on, what do you think? Tell me, Chris.
They're all for loopholes for corporate jets. Republicans, grow up.
Fine. Tanya.
All set. No, Republicans should. Oh, am I on the wrong
Yeah,
line?
yeah, yeah,
No, stand firm is a buy.
Oh, you're buying.
Yeah, I'm buying. I'm
Okay,
like, wait, the
I know,
face.
we're all confused here.
Let's cut down on spending instead of raising taxes.
Yeah, amen.
Absolutely.
Come on, hold firm. That's why you were voted in. We'll have the answers for you tomorrow. Remember, there's still time for you to vote, 369-249, and, of course, the results will be on tomorrow. And Friday's Buy, Sell, Hold results. Stop the photo ops and fundraisers and start the debt talks. A whopping 96% of you voted buy, 4% sell, and hold was completely shut out.